DREAMWORKS, Dragons, When Lightning Strikes, adapted by Benjamin Home Cross. When Lightning Strikes. Chapter 1. The Vikings and the dragons usually lived peacefully together. Recently though, the dragons had been causing a lot of damage in the village. They kept landing on the houses and breaking them. They didn't mean to, but it was still very annoying for the Vikings. Then Hiccup, the chief's son, had a brilliant idea. The Vikings could build huge perches for the dragons, so that they wouldn't have to land on the houses. Hiccup and his friends found some big metal posts and started making the perches at once. At dinner that night, Hiccup was very excited. "These perches are just the beginning," he said. "Next we'll make landing areas for the dragons, and maybe even some stables in the caves." Hiccup's father, Chief Stoic, chuckled. "Hold on now, son. We have to put Vikings before dragons," he said. Outside, thunder rumbled. Hiccup's dragon, Toothless, was restless. Toothless was a night fury, one of the most feared of all dragons. Toothless had been injured a long time ago, and Hiccup had built him a new tail fin. They had been best friends ever since. There was a second roll of thunder, and Toothless dashed outside. Hiccup, Stoic, and the chief's friend, Gobber, looked out from the doorway. Massive bolts of lightning flashed down, setting fire to houses all over the village. "I've never seen so much lightning," said Stoic. "Thor must be very angry." The Vikings believed that the god Thor threw lightning at Vikings if he was cross with them. A group of Vikings had gathered outside Stoic's house, and they were very scared. They watched as Toothless leapt around the village. The lightning bolts seemed to be chasing him from one perch to another. After a little while, an angry Viking called Mildrew stepped forward. He was famous for hating dragons. "Can't you see what's happening?" he asked. "That dragon is a night fury, and a night fury is the child of lightning and death. Thor has sent all this lightning to punish us for having a night fury in the village. The only way to stop the lightning is to get rid of that dragon." Chapter 2. The next day, the weather was better. Hiccup was desperate to prove the lightning wasn't Toothless's fault, so he came up with a plan. Hiccup and his friends decided to build a large metal statue of Thor. Perhaps that would make the god happy again, so there would be no more lightning. Then no one could blame anything on Toothless. The friends set to work making parts of Thor out of metal, and then they welded the parts together into one huge statue. The villagers gasped and then cheered when they saw the amazing statue Hiccup and his friends had made. "Well done, my boy," said Stoic proudly. "Now Thor will smile on us again." "Fools," growled Mildew. "A statue won't make any difference. It's the night fury that Thor's worried about." Later that night, another storm hit the village. The Vikings watched in terror as lightning struck the statue of Thor himself. It started a big fire, which damaged even more buildings. "It doesn't look as though the statue is what Thor wanted," said Stoic sadly. "Of course it isn't," Mildew yelled. "We have to get rid of the night fury." A large crowd of Vikings agreed with Mildew. Things began to look very bad for Toothless. Quietly, Stoic told Hiccup to take Toothless away and hide somewhere safe, far from the village. Hiccup had been thinking just the same thing, while an angry mob of Vikings searched the village from top to bottom. Hiccup and Toothless quietly flew away. Chapter 3. The boy and the dragon flew sadly through the wind and rain. "We have to get as far away as possible," said Hiccup. "Every moment counts. They'll send out a search party to try and catch you." Toothless flew on as fast as he could, but the storm was making things difficult. All of a sudden, a bolt of lightning hit the tail fin that Hiccup had built for Toothless. Toothless swerved and fell towards the forest below. Together, Toothless and Hiccup crashed through the branches and landed in a tangled heap on the forest floor. Hiccup stood up. "We can't stay here, Toothless," he said. "I don't think we're far enough away from the village." Toothless groaned, and Hiccup noticed that the lightning had burned away most of his tail fin. "Wait a minute," said Hiccup. "The lightning hit your tail fin, and it's made of metal, just like the statue and the new perches in the village." Before Hiccup could say any more, an angry crowd of villagers ran out of the trees and surrounded them. Moments later, they had captured Toothless and tied him to a huge wooden cart. "Say goodbye to the Night Fury, Hiccup," said Mildew, with a nasty grin on his face. Hiccup stood by, shocked and helpless, as the villagers hauled Toothless away on the cart. Chapter 4. Back at the village, Stoic was standing on a jetty in the harbour. Behind him on the jetty was Toothless, still strapped to the cart. In front of him stood Mildew and the crowd of angry Vikings who had caught Toothless. "I know you're scared," said Stoic to the crowd, "but this is not the way we Vikings do things. Dragons are our friends, and so we're going to let Toothless go." "You've gone mad, Stoic," Mildew snarled. "We have to get rid of that Night Fury, or Thor will carry on sending lightning to punish us." Just then Hiccup appeared. He had walked all the way back from the forest. "Quick," said Hiccup's friend Astrid when she saw him. "You've got to do something. They're going to float Toothless out to sea." It looked as if Mildew and the villagers were about to attack Stoic to get to Toothless. Hiccup ran forward. "Stop!" he shouted. "The lightning has nothing to do with Toothless, and I can prove it." He snatched up a metal spear and leapt onto the back of Astrid's dragon. "It's because of the metal. The lightning keeps striking metal." "This is ridiculous," Mildew yelled. "We need to get rid of the Night Fury." Everyone was watching Hiccup though, as Astrid flew him up to the top of a ship's mast. "Watch," he called out. "When I attach the metal spear to this mast, the lightning will—" Suddenly, before he could finish what he was saying, a bolt of lightning flashed down and struck the spear in his hand. The lightning passed right through Hiccup's body and knocked him off the mast. Slowly he toppled backwards and fell down into the water below. Toothless saw what had happened. He tore himself free from the cart and dived after Hiccup. Chapter 5. The next morning Hiccup sat up in bed. "What happened?" he groaned. "Lightning bolt struck you on the head," said Stoic proudly, "and Toothless rescued you from drowning. Now, does everyone believe me? They must know it was the metal in the statue and the perches that was attracting the lightning. They don't blame Toothless anymore, do they?" "Don't worry, son," said Stoic. "Toothless is safe here. After seeing what you went through last night, everyone understands," said Stoic. "Especially Mildew. We put the statue of Thor just outside his front door."